Welcome to EJH Bridge Cars. Today we're going to do a tool review. I was to Harbor Freight for the Black Friday sale the other day, and I found this paint stripper on sale, so I picked it up. So let's take a look. So this is it. It's the Bauer Surface Conditioning Tool, 9 amp. Part number 20104E for Edward, -B for boy. It has a 4-inch drum. It comes with 3 stripping drums with the kit. So this is the coarse one. There's a medium and a fine. It has a variable speed here, but also a variable speed trigger, which is kind of nice. It's nice. It has an 8-foot cord, so that's really nice because you definitely need that. It's a pain in the butt having an extension cord with these things. And this handle, and I will note, they didn't say how to assemble this, but in their literature they show this around the other way, but I just liked it this way better, so I'm going to try it like that. So other than to plug it in to make sure that it spins, I've not tried it yet. So I have a couple of things to try. I have the trunk lid, or the boot lid, off my TR2, which has several layers of paint and some rust. And it's pretty nasty. And also the transmission tunnel, which doesn't seem to ever have had any paint, and it's just rusty. So I thought I'd give those a try. So let's plug it in and give it a go. As you can see, this has a really heavy layer of rust. My guess is that they probably never had any paint on it. And then of course with the carpet on top, it'll hold the moisture. So anyway, let's give it a quick try. Well, that's about 30 seconds worth. This is completely curved. There are no flat surfaces here. So there's compound curve here, radius curve here. This is all kind of compound in here. So, I mean, it stripped it down pretty well. I don't know if that's any better on a flat wheel on that kind of a curvy surface like that. But it certainly leaves a nice finish. I mean, it would still want to, because of the pitting, and you don't want to just grind the metal away. We definitely wanted to phosphoric acid this. Well, let's try it on the boot lid. All right. I can't get this power cord out of the way. Alright, so that's about a minute's worth. This is down to steel and the darts are rust. There's kind of a dark red primer and then bright red, which is signal red, which is the color this car was originally from the factory, so I'm going to assume that that's factory paint. There's at least another layer of primer, gray. I know that there was green paint, not much of that showing. And then there's some more red primer on top of that. So it certainly does a nice clean job, and it's not really grinding into the surface like those big 36 grit 9-inch wheels you use, but it's not as fast as I thought it would be. There's a little bit of load up in this. There's a little bit of load up in the grinding wheel, but not very much. So I'm curious, I'll get a flap wheel and see how that does on this paint. Don't forget that this paint, this red, is 68 years old, so definitely fully cured. Alright, so here's a brand new flap disc, 4.5 inch, 36 grit, so something, that other one on the roller is supposed to be about 40 grit, so. And it's on a Harbor Freight angle grinder, which I've been very happy with. So let's give this a try. So that seemed to take the heavy layer of paint off faster, but it didn't leave as nice a finish on the surface. And as you can see, this flap disc has started to wear, though it's still got quite a ways to go. It's kind of curious. I'm going to take the drum disc to that surface now. Well, I cleaned that up. I think it did the cleanup faster than the flap disc was, but this really hard paint, it struggles with a bit, and I expect that's because there's so much more surface area that you're grinding on right here. I have to admit that this doesn't look like it's worn at all. So that's interesting. So it might just be that to rough out the surface, to use the flap disc, but to really get it down nice, go back to the drum. Let's try with a different drum in it. So these are the other two discs or drums that came with the tool. This one is 240 grit. This one's 120. And you can see it's kind of in a way it's a flap disc, and this looks like Scotch-Brite. So, and it comes with the removal tool and extra set of brushes also. Let me change the drums and then we'll try that. So, taking the end piece off, just to be noted, this is a left-hand thread, so right to undo it. You'll see there's a shaft in here and it actually has a pair of keys on it, which are just loose. So I just grabbed them with my fingers as the drum came off so they wouldn't wind up on the ground. Oh, so this one is directional, the first one was not. There's also a lock here. It fools me every time as it looks like it's the end of the axle pivot and it's not. But that's handy. Well, that's that in place. Let's give this a whirl. Well, it definitely doesn't cut paint as fast, but it does leave a finer surface here. So that's interesting. So, what can we conclude out of this? That the flap wheel beat it as far as this stripping layers and layers of paint off. Not by a lot, but it's probably 20% faster at a guess. But this leaves a finish a lot better to deal with. And this surface is bad. Boy, there's a lot of pitting on this, so it's going to take some work to make it nice again. And the drum did not load up, which is good. And it's a bit heavy, but you know, you're going to leave the weight of the tool on the surface, so I suppose being heavy is probably an advantage. It seems to work pretty well like this. I'm not sure that this would be better. I mean, I suppose if you were trying to lean into it, it probably would be, but I kind of like this. A little bit more maneuverable, it feels. So what are my final thoughts? So I was really hoping it would strip a bit faster than that, but it's not bad, not at all. I'm really thinking what I'll probably wind up doing is the roughing it out with the flat wheel and then using that to finish. So certainly it seems to leave a better surface. It's nice, it's got the 8-foot cord, it's got the tools to change the drum, it's got the drum lock, extra set of brushes, which is always nice. It's 3 standard wheels, because the wheels are not inexpensive, I think. The wheels seem to run between $15 and $30 here in California. So there's, I think two $15 discs and a 30, so there's $60 worth of drums, and I paid $119 on sale plus tax, of course. So it'll be interesting as I go through to see how it does. But it really certainly seems to leave a much nicer finished surface. So you certainly could just wanted to have one tool. But then again, flap wheels fit in 4.5-inch grinders, and almost everybody's got one of those. So the flap wheel, the problem with that is being a rounded surface, it tends to leave grooves and half moons and stuff like that. So I really like the drum for the final finish. So I got a lot of work to do with both of those things, so I think I'm going to be happy that I own it. I really like that it's variable speed on top. My Milwaukee buffer is like that too, so you use the top thumb wheel to set a maximum speed, and then as you're going along, you use the trigger to adjust your speed. So, but if you're working in, like in the polisher, if I'm working in an area that's got a lot of ridges where it's very easy to burn through the paint, it's really handy to have the speed knocked down so you don't just accidentally go too fast. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and we'll see you on the next one.